Yo, what's good, YouTube? Back with another reaction video. Today we got 10 women confront their bodies layer by layer, every body by Jubilee. Now I'm gonna be honest, I don't really know what they mean by confront their bodies, but I'm assuming it means literally just look themselves in the mirror and see what they like or what they don't like about themselves. I see a mirror in the background and I see them getting undressed, so we'll figure it out, we'll see, but I'm intrigued, so let's get into it.
I feel so nervous to look around. I feel like it's not right.
Looking at myself, it's really difficult. I know the perception is like, oh, she's in fitness. She probably loves herself.
That was so hard to hear because, like, you look so banging. You look so good.
Yeah.
Every body is a social experiment that challenges participants to confront their relationship with their bodies, layer by layer. Through guided prompts, perception box questions, and voluntary undressing, we explore vulnerability and the personal narratives we attach to our physical form. By stripping away the layers we don't need, every body creates space to look inward and untangle the stories we've told ourselves about our bodies.
Honestly, before they even get started, so it seems like that's exactly what they're about to do. Really just reflect on how they feel about themselves by looking themselves in the mirror. Literally and figuratively. And for me personally, I do this all the time. I do it all the time. When I look myself in the mirror, it's mostly just about if I like how I look. And if I don't, how can I change it? Or what am I going to do to change it? Or let's start that journey to changing it. You feel me? For me, it's real simple. I either fast, work out, or exercise, or all three. And for me, it's usually not that hard to wrap my body back into shape. But it's not the same for everybody. Everybody does not have that time. Everybody does not have that grind. Everybody does not have that mindset. So I guess we're about to get some of that perspective today. Let's get back into it.
Take off your outer layer and look in the mirror. Without this layer, do you feel like something is missing? And does this change how you see yourself?
Yeah, it's exposing my shoulders. I think my upper body is a little too skinny for the rest of my body, and I feel like I could hide behind a stop sign. So it's kind of annoying. I feel disproportionate. Plus I have like kind of a long face. So I feel like a lollipop. And I'm laughing, but it's just, I don't like it. The issue with the modeling industry is that there's definitely points in time where they want you to have big boobs and a big butt. And, you know, I had to force myself to eat 3 times a day. Otherwise, I was going to get comments and bullying, even from my photographers, saying...
See, that's the thing right there. Comments, bullying. Just worrying about what others may think of you. And I think that's a lot of the reason why people don't love themselves, because they're so worried about what others may think or what they may say or how they may feel about your body or yourself. Like, it's like I understand public perception should have, honestly, I think it should have very little effect on yourself, on you, on how you feel about yourself. I think how you feel about yourself and how you feel about your body should be the priority. That should matter the most. The only other thing that I think should matter is your relationship with whatever religion you stand with. Your relationship with him or whatever you praise. And the ones that you hold dear to your heart, like your family and your loved ones. I think they should have an impact, but again, you should be the priority. How do you feel about yourself? And if you don't feel good about yourself, make the necessary changes, I think. But again, I understand it's not that simple. I definitely do understand. But you also have to realize, I know I'm yapping, but it's just, I feel it already. But you also have to realize there are certain things that you can't change about yourself. So you're going to have to learn to love your imperfections. But I'm not going to yap too much. This is a long video.
Comments
so.
and bullying, even from my photographers, saying, eat a hamburger, which is so cliche. One day I said, screw that. And I want to be happy. And so it's been a relationship between my body and my mind, really, that has improved. I'm proud of what I've overcome and the fact that I haven't allowed my toxic patterns of coping to really depict how I allow men and other people treat me. And that's what I see when I look at myself now. I feel very proud of that. And even though I still struggle, I have a lot of growing room. And I know I haven't locked myself in some sort of jail, mental prison. I like my body skinny and I feel healthy like this.
Now I'm going to ask you to turn around. If the rest of you feel comfortable and you're ready to continue, you may remove this layer. If not, feel free to step out and head back into holding.
I think it's crazy that she got all of that just from taking off one layer. That's deep.
Thanks, Bubs.
The fact that you got
But one thing that she said that I guess I should add on to. She said that she was comfortable looking like that. She is happy in her body. It's just she was worried about what other people would say. But if she's happy, then that's all that matters. That's simple. It's
got
really
that from
simple.
your photographer is ridiculous. People don't see what you see. It's true. And we're really critical of ourselves. You're beautiful regardless. You are really strong, especially what you said about how you've grown to see yourself. Yeah, I just wanted to say that.
You too.
Thank you.
I just
And
want to
she
say it's really
feels
brave for
healthy.
you to say, like, talking about how he told you to eat a hamburger. I think it's really because not a lot of people talk about being thin shamed versus being fat shamed. Fat shame is such a huge thing. But I think people who are insecure about their size, if they're smaller, I feel like they don't get that much awareness. And like, people think it's not an insult if you get called skinny. Like, no, some people can have insecurities about that. So thank you so much for sharing your story.
Every stereotype, every image has had its bullying phase depending on the generation and the style trends going around.
Everyone's going to hate you if you're too tiny, if you're too big. You can't make anyone happy.
Yeah, you can never win. I felt like it would be therapeutic and it was a good time to take an honest look at myself. And instead of just erasing the past and shutting it down and avoiding it like I normally do for many years, I think I'd like to be as honest with myself as possible, and this was a good way to.
Look in the mirror. If the people who love you most could see the way you talk to yourself, what would they be most heartbroken to hear? People who know me would be really surprised the way that I think about myself and my appearance. I kind of view myself as just this big man, and I don't want to be that. Comments people have made, they've compared me to ugly male celebrities, and yeah, it just kind of stuck in my mind. When I was in school, I used to get made fun of for having long arms and legs. Being compared to men just makes me feel undesirable. I very much want to be a girl, and it's hard for me to wear certain things that are more feminine because I just think I look like a man all the time. My girlfriend, whenever I voice my opinions on myself, she's just that's so ridiculous. You don't understand how untrue that is. Now I want you to pretend that you are your girlfriend and you're looking at yourself. Okay. And talk to yourself the way that she would. Okay. She would tell me that I'm so beautiful, and I don't know, it's just uncomfortable to say.
Hold on, my fault. My phone ringing and stuff. Alright. Now let's get back into it.
To myself. Yeah, she'd just tell me that I'm beautiful.
Since I was a bodybuilder for 8 years, the number one thing when I was really muscular was you look like a man. And it really stuck with me because I would get so defensive about it, because then I would go home and look at myself in the mirror all the time and be like, okay, do I look like a guy? Like, do I present myself as like a masked individual? And that comment alone really can mess with your head, because then you just start to second guess every outfit that you put on.
Definitely.
I'm 6'2" and 210 pounds, and I do lift weights. So every day people are like, "Oh my God, you're so big." That's what they say. What was the joke in high school? 6'2", 200 pounds. She's a linebacker, right? Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah. I don't feel masculine. I feel very feminine. I do feel muscular, but I don't think that that's a masculine trait. You're not giving masculine to me. You are a beautiful woman. The first thing I noticed when I saw you.
It kind of teared me up a little when you couldn't say those positive words to yourself, because I've been there with my partner. Whenever he's telling me those positive things about myself, I'm just like, there's no way you believe this. You saw me when I was skinnier, and now you're loving me when I'm at my biggest. There's no way. I really hope one day you can see yourself the way your girlfriend sees you. I hope you can love yourself the same way she loves you. I'm going to tear up thinking of that.
And look, that's also so interesting, because we can see the struggles other people go through clear as day, and we can provide beautiful advice and context, you know, like, and perspective. But when it comes to us, it's always different. It's always different. I find that so interesting. So interesting. And I'm gonna be honest, some people are very hypocritical though. Some people will intentionally down you for something, knowing that they do the exact same thing. Hypocrites are one of my biggest pet peeves, but let's get back into it.
I hope you can love yourself the same way she loves you. I'm going to tear up thinking of that, because I feel that.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a hug.
Yeah, of
Oh my
course.
gosh.
I feel like you're also like speaking yourself. I hope you take what you're saying and
This is my point.
Yeah, practice it. Going
Exactly my
through
point.
things that people have told me and like deconstructing them as not facts would definitely be a huge step forward. And even just consciously, whenever I look in the mirror, not giving attention to the negative thoughts, just gliding by them.
Take off your shirt and look in the mirror.
You feel comfortable removing this layer?
Yes. When you see your bare arms, your shoulders, your stomach, what is the first thing your mind attacks? Why do you think that voice is so loud? When I see my bare arms, the main
This
reason why I got
question's deep.
tattoos was to cover up my arms. I think it was a nice way to hide some of those insecurities about myself. When I was younger, my mom would always, we had very similar body types, very round, and we'd always talking about like the fat under your skin, or like the rolls I have on my back, or the rolls that come up on my sides. Filipino families, like the one thing they always talk about the moment you walk into that house for a party is, oh my God, you gained so much weight. Go to the kitchen and go grab some food. I'm like, which one is it?
Hey, yo, now that's a
When
fact.
I see my
though.
stomach fully bare, I get really insecure, mainly because I have much more of an apple-shaped body. And when it comes to being plus size, a lot of plus size models people focus on are more curvy. They got the hips. There's no hip dips, flat stomach, big hips, a big butt, big boobs. And I'm just like, I'm not that type of plus size girl. I'm very apple shaped, but I'm a delicious apple. I'm sweet and juicy, let me tell you.
I understand what it's like to have your
I like the
family
confidence,
comment on your
though.
weight or if you've gained or lost weight. I grew up with my grandmother and my mom and me, so 3 generations of just women in the same house most of the time. And my grandmother would have eat this, not that books out. Literally, my mom is so vain. All I've ever heard her talk about in her entire life is her weight. I developed bulimia because of that when I was 15. And like I got, past that now, but I get it when like your family comments on that stuff and you're like always reminded of what their expectations or what they might want from you.
I feel you on that one.
Yeah. If the rest of you feel comfortable.
But see, that's man, I feel like this video finna be mad long. This might be an hour-long video, no cap. But anyway, like I said before, I think your family and your loved ones. All right, let me separate that, because everybody's family is not their loved ones, and everyone's loved ones is not their family. So I'm going to just say the ones that are closest to you, the ones that you value the most, I think you should value their opinion of you if you ask it of them. And even if you don't, if somebody's telling you, hey, like, I'm concerned about your weight, or you look like you're letting yourself go, or look, this vice is starting to control your life, you probably should consider it before you just dismiss it. Now, a comment online, delete it, dismiss it, don't pay any attention to it. Read it, understand it, but if it doesn't apply to you, or if it doesn't hold any weight to you, it shouldn't. Get rid of it. But somebody close to you, someone you love, someone whose opinion you value, you should take it into consideration. Again, your opinion trumps all, but your loved ones, you really should take it to some degree, I think.
Expectations or what they might want from you.
I feel you on that one.
Yeah.
If the rest of you feel comfortable and ready to continue, you may remove this layer. If not, feel free to grab your things and exit the studio.
I feel so nervous to look around. I feel like it's not right.
Beautiful.
I can definitely relate to all your tattoos. For me, it's covering up my arms and whatever I didn't like or trying to get people to lose focus on. But this is art. This is our art. This is what we like. So in a way, like, it's like putting our personality out there.
You know, it's so funny when you say you're going to cover it. It's so funny because when tattoos, that's something that people focus on.
Yes,
And it's just instantly looking at your arms, and it's the last thing you want something to do.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's
That's
also,
a
I like to
fact.
change it and think, like, they're looking at what's in my mind when they look at my art. They're seeing my beauty. They're seeing my art. There's meaning behind
We
it.
are
They're seeing-
redirecting the conversation.
Exactly. Thank you.
Love that.
It took time, but I got to that point where, like, I love my smile. I love my chest. I love my thighs. It's just that I gotta slowly start realizing I can love other stuff.
Look in the mirror and think about a time where you were made to feel ashamed of your body. Who or what planted that seed, and does it still affect you today?
Do y'all think we need to bring
I've
shame back?
always been plus size. Always.
When it comes to health, do y'all think that we need to bring shame back? Yes or no? I'm curious.
My whole entire life, I've never had a skinny phase. I've never had an itsy bitsy teeny weeny polka dot bikini body. And my whole family is also plus size as well. I never saw myself as big until I joined cheerleading. I was about 9 or 10 years old.
Honestly, hold
And
on.
I was-
Cause do y'all think it's even went anywhere though? When it comes to shame. Because if I'm being honest, I think with the internet and cyberbullying, it's probably at an all-time high. Again, everybody can't just dismiss those comments or that negativity that they see online. That's cyberbullying. But I do think people are a lot more sensitive now. A lot more careful about what they say and how they say it. With me and my friends, we're going to be real with each other. Like I said, if I think somebody is doing something that they shouldn't be doing, that's negatively impacting them or the people around them or themselves, I'm going to let them know. Or if I feel like they're letting themselves go, they're not motivated, they're not doing this, they're not doing that, they're letting their vices control them, then I'm going to talk to them about it. But if I don't really know you, it's not my place to say, and I'm probably not going to say nothing about it. Unless I'm in a setting like this, and even this, I'm not finna talk about any one of these ladies specifically. I'm more going to talk about the deeper conversation. I don't know any of them, you know. I can't really give them too much advice, but I can talk about what I do know and what I've been through and what I have seen or have seen others experience, you know. But let's get back into it. I'm sorry. This is going to be a long video.
That I was the biggest cheerleader on the team. And I was told, oh, we have to get a bigger cheer uniform for you because we only have the little ones. And I still didn't see it as a problem until my parents, my mom, who never meant any harm, but she just didn't want me to struggle with my confidence. I was told that I had to work out more, I had to be the strongest, I had to be the best, I had to be the loudest, so
Yeah,
that
that's
nobody would
mom.
notice everything else about me, that I was the
But they're
biggest
not
and the
always right
shortest.
either.
So that seed was planted in me really, really young, that I have to be better. I have to be the best. I have to change the stereotype. I have to change that just because I'm plus size and bigger and shorter, that doesn't mean I'm not going to be as flexible. I'm not going to be able to move. I'm not going to be able to lift anybody. That seed is still inside me, but I have to be confident. And I have a very confident personality. I always say if I lose weight, then I lose my personality. Being a plus size girl
How do y'all feel about that?
it's not easy to shop. It's not easy to walk around in public, but I'm going to do it. And I feel good doing it. And I wanted to make sure that everybody knew that just because you were bigger, just because you're shorter, it's not going to define
Okay,
what you
okay.
can.
Okay. I do have to ask. I do have to pose this question. Because there is the body positivity movements. And then when people lose the weight, it's like, oh, this is better. Like, da-da-da. Like, this is what I've wanted. I was like, do you think it's possible to love yourself knowing that you're overweight or obese, but still want to lose the weight? I'm trying to think, like, because I think it is possible to love yourself at that big size, but still want to lose the weight to become a better version of yourself. But I do think it's very contradicting when you promote it, right? Not promote the self-love part, but promote being plus size. I think that's where the contradiction lies. Because it's like, again, you can love yourself, but do you think it's okay or beneficial to promote being plus sized or overweight or obese or unhealthy? I think that's the word I should use. Promote being unhealthy just because maybe you can't lose the weight or you don't want to put in the work. I don't know. I think that's an interesting conversation. And I've seen people really flip-flop. Go from body positivity, I love myself and my body, I'm promoting being plus size, to losing the weight. Now they're fitness junkies and they're fitness gurus, health conscious, and they talk about themselves like they were disgusting before. So I think it's very interesting. And this is also coming from someone who used to be kind of big. I ain't gonna lie. I'm still big. I just take care of myself a lot more now. And I understand how to, which I think is big as well.
You knew that just because you were bigger, just because you're shorter, it's not going to define what you can and can't do.
I feel like a lot of people expect more from plus size people, and they expect, like, if you're going to be bigger, have a bigger personality to compensate. And I just want to tell you that it's okay if you didn't have that big personality. Like, there's nothing that you need to compensate for at all.
Yeah, you're right. I never saw it like that, but yeah, you're right. There's nothing to compensate for because it's who I am.
Yeah. The first thing I saw about you was how beautiful you were. I think the first thing I said to you, oh my God, your hair is so thick. You're so gorgeous. Like, and that's genuine. And I appreciate the confidence that you were exuding, but it did seem like there was an undertone of hurt still. And there's definitely allowed to be. But you don't have to be confident for us, right? It's about you. You should love yourself for you because you're awesome.
Yeah.
If you truly love yourself, though.
You're right. Again,
Don't put on the front.
It's a lot of pressure to put on someone to think that you have to be plus size and you have to work it. You have to show other people not to be ashamed of it.
And I get it because it is literally your job to teach and lead, but like that's your job.
Yeah.
You don't have to do that 24/7. You don't always have to be on. You can just be you, and just you is more than enough.
Appreciate it.
Look in the mirror and remove your pants.
All right, before you do that, do you feel comfortable removing this layer?
I do.
All right, you may proceed.
Hope I can tie these two.
Those are cool pants.
Thank you. What's the first thing that you judge about your lower body? Has it ever made you feel unworthy, unattractive, or less than? So the first thing that I judge about my lower body is always my glutes and my lower abdominal. I started bodybuilding when I was 16 years old because when I was younger, I was very helpless when I got bullied. I was picked on in high school for my body, how I looked. Once I found bodybuilding when I was 16 years old, I figured to myself, if I can get into the gym and be strong, people won't bully me anymore. So when I did my first show, I was so fixated on being a small bikini competitor. And when I wouldn't do well as I got older, it was because I was getting too big for that bikini category. So I always felt unworthy, and I felt like I was never going to place well because I was always sticking out because my legs were much bigger than the other girls, and I was always fixated on trying to make them smaller. But now that I really enjoy working out for myself and I enjoy being strong, the number one thing I love about my body is my legs. I love that they're strong. I love that they're muscular. I love that they're defined. Looking at myself, it's really difficult. I know the perception is like, oh, she's in fitness. She probably loves herself. But other than my legs, I'm looking at myself right now and I actually don't love anything.
If the rest of you feel ready to continue, you may also remove this layer.
When you said that you couldn't think of anything besides your legs, oh my gosh, that was so hard to hear because like you look so banging. Like you look so good.
Yeah.
Of like your arms, like it's so proportionate. Like you can tell that you put the work in. You never know kind of like what somebody else is going through or what they think of themselves. But like you're doing amazing.
Thank
And
you.
look amazing.
I appreciate that.
Of
Thank
course.
you. I think it's really hard because when you suffer through body dysmorphia and you see a different person, or for me, I just am fixated on like, I used to be 118 pounds when I used to compete. I distinctly remember my last bikini show when I was 118 pounds. I was doing 3 hours of cardio every single day, eating tilapia and asparagus 6 times a day. And I was doing that for 2 months straight.
6
And I had
times a
gotten my
day?
smallest. And the critique back was, you're still way too big and you need to come down another 8 more pounds.
Hey, tilapia
I
is
remember
fire,
I got
though.
6th place at that show. And it was the most defeating feeling ever. And the critique that I got back from the expediters and from the judges was, it's almost depressing watching you prance around in this bikini on stage because you just don't belong in this category. Like, wow, I'm still not good enough. No matter what I did to myself mentally, no matter what I did to myself physically, it just still wasn't going to conform and fit into this category. Listening to all of you guys, like, just like talk, I'm just like thinking to myself, I wish I actually felt that way.
Personally, I think some of those competitions are literally setting yourself up to fail. Because you're literally training yourself, your mind, your body, to prepare to be judged by a group of random people. Yes, you're the fittest. Yes, you're the skinniest. Yes, you're the most attractive. Like, but what if they say no? Are you okay with that? And it seems like a lot of people aren't. They really go through it if they don't win certain competitions or pageants. Personally, I don't really see the big, I keep saying, I'm so sorry. I don't really see the big appeal. Like, why would you want to participate in something like that? I'd like to hear a perspective on that, but yeah, it's something I question. And a lot of times I have to tell myself I have to understand that I'll never understand. Alright, my camera died, but we're back. But I was saying, you have to understand that you'll never understand. I think a lot of other people should realize that too. Unless you get the full backstory, the full backdrop, if you see something online or if there's someone that you're really not that close to and they're probably not going to open up to you, you probably will just never understand. And you have to be okay with that. So let's get back into we still got like 30 plus minutes.
About myself.
Sheesh.
But the truth of the reality is I don't.
I feel like there are a lot of comments on like how great you look, and you do look great. But I really understand that it's really hard to accept any of the compliments that people are going to say, and that it's just kind of like people can say a lot of stuff and it kind of goes right over your head.
Yeah. You know, of course, my opinion does not matter. Like you said, it really matters what you feel. And so I hope that you get to the point where you can just feel great because you look great. This is the first thing I said to you. I was like, damn, those abs, girl. And I meant it. I follow you outside of this. I already recognized you as someone in the fitness industry that I look up to. So hearing you say this is like, it helps me feel more relatable to you. And I'm like, dang, if I didn't already follow you, I would follow you.
Thank you.
Look in the mirror. If your body never changed from this moment forward, would you be able to accept it? Why or why not?
These questions deep.
It depends what you mean by accept. Like, be happy with? I don't think so, because I feel like I would constantly be comparing myself to other bodies and the way that I would like my body to look. Most of the time, like, I look at all of these, like, style influencers, which is probably not the healthiest thing. But, of course, they all have flat stomachs and they're skinny. And that's what I want to look like. So whenever I go shopping, I feel like that's what I have in my head, and it never ends up looking like that. Maybe like a month ago when I was at H&M and I went shopping, literally nothing ended up looking the way that I wanted it to. And I feel like it kind of ruined my whole day because I felt like ugly afterwards, and I was like, nothing looks right. I don't know why these clothes never fit me, or I don't fit in these clothes, and it kind of made me like hate shopping. To be honest, since I was a kid, my biggest insecurity was my skin color, especially because I ended up going to school with a lot of white and Asian people. And I feel like there weren't as many people that looked like me. I don't remember this, but my dad said like in preschool, there was a little girl and she was afraid to go down the slide with me because of my skin color.
That's crazy.
I don't know what her parents were teaching her, but the experience of feeling insecure about my skin color, it affects me more than I'd like to admit, like even just in my everyday and how I compare myself to other people. And I've always found it hard to be found as feminine or attractive. A lot of times I've been insecure about my hair and it being curly, and like I can never style it. And I always used to straighten it because I thought I only felt pretty when it was straight, but more and more I'm trying to work with my hair and accept that it doesn't have to be like white, thin, model-esque to be pretty.
I like it.
The clothing thing, I get it. Recently, I went up in a size, and I went up maybe 2 sizes recently, and then I went to like the store. I was trying things on, and it's like super upsetting when you realize the size that used to fit you doesn't fit you. And I also look back at photos from literally this time last year when I'm not going to say what weight I was, but when I was that weight and now I'm not. And it's really hard. And then your hair, my hair is really naturally very, very curly. And I chemically straightened it, and it was like the worst decision I ever made in my life. And like, look how up it is. Like, it's literally like falling out of my head. So your hair is beautiful.
Like looking at like Instagram and influencers, I had to train myself to like, Instagram isn't real. It literally isn't. You can post in a picture, you can add a picture.
Facts.
What I always do, which helped me so much, is like when you try to take, like you see like with your own eyes with the sunset, right? And it looks so pretty, but as soon as you pull out your phone, it looks completely different. That's what helped me. Is like, okay, I don't actually look like how I think I look like. Because when I see with my own eyes looking at something else, it looks good. And then when I look at myself in the picture and I'm like, what happened? Yeah. Like the front camera especially. So I would say just, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I can really relate to being younger and feeling like the internalized racism of trying to look a certain way. I grew up in the Midwest, and so everyone there is white. For the longest time, I was like, if I could change anything, I would want blue eyes. Up until like college, and until I saw like a lot more people of color, I didn't really think that I was going to find attractive people of color. And that's like a really crazy thought to think. There just weren't really people of color at my school, and I was used to really growing up surrounded by white people living in a white neighborhood. And so I feel like that kind of really influenced how I judged people for a while too. You know what I'm saying? I can definitely really relate to the like not feeling great about like skin color.
Also, the way that I grew up, I've often felt like, "Ugh, if only like my skin color was lighter, my hair was straighter, and I was thinner, then the guys that I like would actually like me back." But I'm often like, I'm probably not their type, or like, they'll probably not like me. They'll choose this girl.
You guys are all in your
gonna
underwear. How does
lie.
it feel being this exposed?
I feel
lot of times
vulnerable,
you just gotta
and I
shoot your
feel
shot.
very insecure. Like, oh my
that's a
god, this is
confidence
like
thing, too.
the most vulnerable state right now. I wish I was in better shape. On the other side, it feels empowering because I'm listening to everybody who exerts so much confidence, and I'm like, wow, I really need to be nicer to myself. I'm definitely going to take a page out of every single thing that everyone has said today. So it's making me feel better and not be so inside my head like I'm alone.
I think it helps that like we're all in our underwear and like that really levels the playing field. I am noticing like I'm trying to position my body to be like, oh, there's a camera looking at me. Like let's keep that in mind.
But I did notice when we first started, you were here.
Yeah,
and
that's
now
true.
you're here and you're looking. And I know I catch myself like adjusting myself, like, okay, hide that roll, don't turn the camera this way.
yeah.
But I see everybody else doing the same, and I'm like, I feel comfortable with you ladies. Like,
I was actually the same thing. I actually feel like a lot more comfortable because then you kind of see like everybody has insecurities, and then you see like how similar we all are too. It's like we all just have like beautiful bodies and we're all just like humans. So I feel like pretty good actually.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have the men leave before the nudity portion. So we're framing
they're
out
getting
your
naked,
guys'
naked.
bodies here. So just give us a second. All right.
I was gonna say I do that same thing. Like I go
Take off your
completely.
bra and look in the mirror.
Yeah.
God. Okay.
Are you comfortable removing this layer?
Yeah, but like, yeah.
Are you sure?
I'm positive. It's just like, that's the one thing I hate most is my boobs, of course. Like, it's the one thing I don't like. But
Just to
you know,
remind you, your boobs will not be on the camera.
I know. Okay. So, oh my god, I'm gonna die right now. Okay. How does it feel to carry the weight physically and emotionally of this part of your body? I mean, like, they're heavy, but it's annoying because I feel like my boobs aren't perfect. I feel like they could be perkier. I don't really like my like nipples, to be honest. I wish they were like smaller, and I wish I had like more of like a lift going on, but that's just like my genetics, and it's the same as my mom's, and that's just how it is. So like I've accepted it. When I weighed less, I would go out without a bra on, and then like I started to see this guy, and he would comment on like how I shouldn't do that because it didn't look as good, and that wasn't really great. So then I started wearing bras more often during like intimate acts. I'm usually holding my chest, especially like if like I'm on like on the top or whatever. I'm very insecure about like the way they're falling. It's okay, like, you know, I'll get a boob job one day if I really want it, right? I don't like love doing OnlyFans, but it's something that I got into, and it can be rewarding. Like the male validation that you do get from it can be empowering in a sense, but it really has a physical and like mental toll on my well-being. Sometimes I get like
See. OnlyFans too. Bring that back to the other conversation I was having about setting yourself up to fail. Look, you gotta do what you gotta do. If you gotta make your money, you gotta figure out a way to do it. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you gotta realize that you're literally preparing to be judged by somebody else. And if you know that you can't take that or handle that or filter out the good, the bad, the negative, the ugly, then you're putting yourself in a real tough position. I don't know. It's just
mean people that subscribe to me. It's really weird to have someone that like pays money to be mean to you about your own body. It's strange.
I'm going to give you a big challenge. I want you to say 4 different things, positive things.
I have, like, I don't even know what to say. I don't even like them, so I don't know what to say. Like,
imagine you are your significant other.
Okay. He's be like, oh, I think you're so sexy. Like, I love your boobs. Like, they're awesome. They're amazing. Your tits are great. You don't need a boob job.
Beautiful. Now I want you to say
look
all
at the
of
looks
that
on their
again
faces.
and seriously say it to yourself.
Okay. Your tits are amazing. You don't need a boob job. You're sexy, and I love them, and they're perfect.
She looks like she's about to
What you would say to
cry.
me.
If the rest of you feel comfortable and are ready to continue, you may remove this layer. If not, feel free to put your clothes back on and exit the studio. Okay, you could do that now.
Damn, got 2 of them out of there.
We can just all them off while they're leaving.
My bad.
Oh,
Titties that was, but there's nothing on camera.
You guys are free to exit. You're free to exit once you're fully clothed. Thank you guys.
Damn,
Thank
3
you
of
guys so
them.
much for participating.
I'm pretty proud of everyone that stayed because, like, I don't know. I heard everyone shuffling around. I was like, damn, they're really going to leave.
I did have the thought, the mentality to come in, and I was like, oh, I'm leaving. Like, I work at a Christian private school, so I was like, I can't, but I'm learning so much, and I think this is very important to stay. Plus, I really want to take off my bra.
Does anyone else have particular insecurities about their breasts?
Actually, I have very similar ones to you. I also had my nipples pierced, and there's still scarring on both sides of them. And I have the same thing where I feel like they used to be higher.
Right.
I got into fitness, and things changed. My fiance and I are like, okay, so whenever you save up the money, you can buy my boobs, right?
I think about that all the time with every single one of my boyfriends. I'm like, when are we going to do that?
Every
It's like
single
ultimately,
one of
I'm
my
like,
boyfriends.
I think I need to realize some
She's
of it may be
projecting
actually some
crazy right now,
internalized
not
stuff.
gonna
Like I'm
lie.
half joking, but I'm like, no, and for me, especially at my height, my boobs are always in people's face. Like, hi. So I should have just. I feel like that's probably the first thing a lot of people see. So it's an insecurity of mine for sure.
I was just say, my mother and my grandmother both have breast lifts and augmentations. So they all got reductions because
My
like
God.
my mom had like huge boobs. My grandmother, I don't know about the reduction there. So like I'm waiting for mine. I feel like I tried to make that a point earlier about how my like the heritage from like grandmother, mother to me, the vanity and the whole like the men leaving them and just like, the shallowness is bad and it's been really hard on my self-image.
So you kind of have to feel like you're trying to follow in their footsteps.
I had
you guys
like a really
did.
toxic influence, I think, because of them. Like my grandmother would like tell me when I turned like 19, she'd like buy me a boob job. My mom was just always talking about how she felt like she was fat. She never told me I was fat, but that's all she said about herself. And I guess like I heard that and then I internalized it and it's part of my being now. Like my mom used to say this thing. She used to be like, oh, those are like my fat girl like jeans for when I'm like fat. And that's how I feel about my clothes now today. When I like can't fit into the jeans I usually can, I'm like, oh, I have to wear my fat girl jeans. Like to hear your mom talk that way about herself, you start to kind of think the same, yeah.
The same with my mom. My mom had the idea of what beauty was, and she would tell me that if I didn't get skinny or didn't wear makeup, I would never get married. I would never find a boyfriend. But that's how you were raised. Like that's what, as a woman, I have to make sure everything is perfect. And if it's not, I have to fix it.
Definitely, yeah, definitely.
I think the grass is always greener for everyone because my nipples are like, they're very pointy constantly. And it bothers me. Anytime I wear a bra, I need padding. And even if I put the padding in, that doesn't guarantee that my nipples aren't going to show through. You know what I'm saying? I just want to be wearing a shirt at work. And then I'm like, well, can everyone see this now? Everyone has some level of like, I wish they were smaller or bigger or pointier or not. And that is just like very normal.
I
you know?
think that's a great point in this entire subject, entire video, and every topic. No one's ever happy. It's always, grass is always greener. That's how I feel when it comes to body image.
Look in the mirror. If you had to describe your body in one raw, unfiltered sentence right now, no sugarcoating, no hiding, what would it be? Okay, I feel bad saying this. I feel like a stallion. I feel pretty good. I don't like. Yeah. I feel pretty good. No sugarcoating, you a baddie, girl. I don't know. I feel pretty good. When I was younger, I couldn't like walk so much. I couldn't walk. I was paralyzed.
I was just whoa. I was just gonna say it seemed like nobody was confident in themselves. Nobody loved themselves. Let me not say love themselves, but nobody was content with where they are and how their body looked. And that's kind of crazy to me. Nobody was happy. But her, and I think the first girl, she talked about kind of like her past and how again, she thought other people felt about her, but she said she liked herself and her body, and she felt healthy, which I think is the most important part. But yeah, it's refreshing to see people confident and love themselves, because everybody else, it seemed like, I don't know, it didn't seem like it was there. And a lot of times I can tell when you're faking it. Like, yeah, I love myself, or I love my body, but like, you can't even say it with a straight face, you know? I think I think it's sad. It's really sad.
I was 14 and I was teaching horseback riding lessons. Shout out to equestrians. And a girl was doing too much and she was going to get kicked. And I went and pushed her out of the way and I took the kick here instead. So I broke my spine and my 4 floating ribs, all of my fingers on both of my wrists. And now I have a scar on the back. It's from here to here. So about 1.5 feet long. 16 screws that are each about this thick. And 2 foot-long bars on each side of my spine, stabilizing. So I used to not be able to touch my toes or breathe properly. I had one lung collapse completely. And I'm in chronic pain. So I'm hurting now. That's, again, why I'm sweating so much. Everything hurts all the time. It hurts to breathe too deeply. But if I don't breathe too deeply, I'll pass out, a la the epilepsy. So I think a lot of people see me being happy and perky and smiling. And I am happy. I am perky. I'm genuinely happy to be alive. I really am. But it's coming from a place of death or. So I chose or.
That's what's up. It can always be worse.
I think a lot of
I think that's what we have to remind ourselves.
Confidence is like cockiness. So I understand that is an insecurity, because you're like, I'm happy, I'm grateful to be where I am as a person, where I'm at physically, mentally, and people see that as intimidating, or that person's just cocky, or they think they're all that. They don't know what we had to go through to be confident, to be grateful for what we are. Physically, everything that she went through, but also mentally, that like I was a person who was teaching horseback riding to a person where I can't even go to the bathroom by myself. I can't. Yeah. I'm so proud that you can confidently look in the mirror, dead eye contact, not break for a second, say, I'm happy, I'm a baddie, this is what I am, and this is who I've become.
I wanted to come because I think there's a lot of misconceptions about what health looks like, what beauty looks like. People look at me and they just assume, oh, she's cool, she's happy, but like I do walk around in chronic pain. I do have a lot of pain. And I think it would be nice to show people that I'm not just walking around as like a confident person because I want to show it off or rub it in people's faces. It was definitely earned, but that I think everyone can do it. It's possible.
I'm sorry. Take off your underwear and look in the mirror.
Now, before anyone does anything, Olivion, do you feel comfortable removing this layer? If yes, you may proceed. If not, you can put the card back, get your clothes, head into holding. Totally up to you. No pressure at all.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
I really mean that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. You can go ahead and remove that layer.
I'm gonna watch. All right. This part of you has been police, shamed, hidden, and celebrated. What relationship do you have with it today? Is it fully yours?
And this also gives me perspective, because I'm gonna be honest, like most guys, and this is coming from a guy who played sports, was in locker rooms, taking off drawers, like it means absolutely nothing. Like, like I don't know. And it's so interesting to see women hesitate about it. Now, obviously, these people are all strangers to each other. But, I don't know. Again, it's still interesting to see the perspective. Because it's definitely not that deep with most guys. There are always exceptions, but you get my point.
Been police, shamed, hidden, and celebrated. What relationship do you have with it today? Is it fully yours? I guess like a good relationship and bad. I don't like the outer part, because like when I started shaving, I was like 13. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. So like it gave me like marks, like shave bumps and all of that. That's like the only thing I'm really insecure about because I've been trying to get rid of them, like doing all like I don't know, like some soap or whatever. It would brighten like the certain areas. I just hate like the color, the discoloration. I wish it was like all the same color.
Where do you think that expectation came from?
I'll see like other girls in bikinis and being like all confident and stuff. But like, you know, like I said, when I put one on, I just literally, I have to cover up. Like, I just feel like people stare at that. But when I had a friend, she was pretty nice. We went to the water park together and then she had on her bikini and I saw she had the same thing I had. And I was like, oh, she don't even care. Like, and I didn't pay much attention to it. Like, literally, I didn't even notice it until, like, I was literally right on her and, like, because she dropped something. I swear I'm not just staring at that. But, like, it's, you know, like, I just noticed it. And then I was like, oh, okay. So it made me feel, like, kind of better seeing when other people have it, you know, especially when I go to, like, areas where you need to wear, like, a swimsuit. But other than that, that'll be it.
If the rest of you feel comfortable and ready to continue, you may remove this layer. If not, feel free to put your clothes back on and head into holding, okay?
Is this what you're talking about? This brown? Yeah, like we all. This is we all like. I mean, you just haven't seen a lot of vaginas.
Oh.
Kind of proud of all of us.
I know. Really, seriously.
We did that.
Like we all looked to each other.
Nobody moved.
We were like, all right, we're doing this.
I went straight to this.
I think we should all like do a yoga class or something after this.
Right.
I'm just thinking like we're all in this together, and this is something important that we need to do for ourselves and for whoever is going to watch this.
I know like some swimsuit thing, but not like because of the marks, but like, well, kind of because of the marks. Like when I shave and like you wear a bikini, like you can still see like the dark and it's like, oh, is that inappropriate? Like, or like when I was a kid and wear a bikini and my mom would be like, oh, like you can see like your hair. And I'm like, oh, I gotta like make sure to shave right.
I also think that like it's a curly hair thing too that we have to talk about. Like if you get into like the 3Cs or the 4Cs, like if you have more curl, then like shaving against the grain does something different. But also the thing that did make me uncomfortable was that it was the discoloration and the hyperpigmentation.
Yeah.
And you even when you said that, I looked dead at your vagina and I'm like, what are you talking about? I have significantly more hyperpigmentation, and it's not a comparison, but just so you know. There are plenty of people out here dealing with the same thing and worse who are not paying attention. Oh, I promise you. You look great.
Thank you.
I have my butt cheeks too.
If you want me to spread it around,
Right
up. Pretty much. Let me know.
What would it feel like to see yourself let go of
I
the
feel like she
story
was joking,
that
but
you
serious at the
constantly
same
tell
time
yourself,
when
the
she said
negative
that.
thoughts?
It would probably feel so much better not worrying about like what's showing when I get out of the water or like who's looking. I think I'll feel more free, and because I love swimming, but that's like the only reason why I don't do it. I feel like I'll be doing something I love more if I were to like be free and like go all that.
Right now, there's nothing between you and your reflection. If you weren't taught to judge your body, what would you see instead? Honestly, I feel like I would just see a person. We are all human. This is what humans look like. This is what women look like, and all of it is normal, and all of it is really beautiful. So, honestly, I feel really empowered standing here with everyone. It's like, if we're not friends after this, that's crazy. That would be crazy. But yeah, I've really appreciated everyone being really vulnerable, and that makes me feel comfortable to also be vulnerable. If I could speak to my younger self, I think that I would tell her that everything she's anxious about isn't a big deal, and that everyone has insecurities about literally everything. You are definitely your own like harshest critic, and that like oftentimes no one's gonna care about maybe like a discoloration mark or a scar you have, or any sort of small thing that you think is maybe a really big deal.
I want you to say something extremely, extremely kind to yourself. And I want you to really, really hear them, and I want you to really believe them, and take as much time as you need to think about what you want to say.
You are capable. yeah, you are capable.
Beautiful. Can I have you go do the same thing?
Oh, this is like, I feel like this is the hardest thing out of all this.
I couldn't even think of something when I was clothed. You have a great body and you're a good person.
You are completely beautiful, lovable, easy to love, and
I thought I was tripping. I'm
deserve
like, where'd that music
joy,
come from?
happiness, and you deserve to have great, wonderful, loving people around you.
You have value, and it doesn't depend on male attention or the male gaze or what men think of your body, and you're valuable regardless of their opinion.
You is smart, you is kind, you is important.
No one cares about your hyperpigmentation, and neither should I.
You are a good person.
All right. Anything else?
Everything happens for a reason, and you are grateful and blessed because of it.
I really was coming into this thinking,
Alright, I'm not gonna lie, it's been a long video. So look, 41, 21 out of 42. Okay, 10 women confront their bodies layer by layer, everybody. I like this video. I did. If y'all liked it too, hold on. Whew, excuse me. If y'all liked it too, and if y'all like more videos like this, request them. Let me know. Show some love on this, and we'll be back. Other than that, I've taken up a lot of your time, so I'm not going to take up much more. But all that aside, that's going to end up this reaction video. I'm not going to say to like, comment, share, or subscribe, because if y'all rock me, y'all going to do that anyway. And I'm going.